Hi, everyone, and welcome to my Did You Know series. This is episode 2. We're going to talk about welding and slicing and when to use weld with slicing. It's not really going to be talking about each individual in detail. I'm just going to be talking about how you can use welding for slicing. I did episode 1 over welding, so if you missed that, you can go back and watch that also. And it just talks a little bit more about welding in general. So real quick, welding is when you want to remove cut lines in between overlapping images or overlapping layers. So it's used a lot of time in cursive and cursive fonts and such where one letter tail bleeds over into the next letter and you want to, eliminate that cut line so it cuts in one piece seamlessly. So that's what weld is. Slicing is when you want to get rid of a piece of your design. So let's say I take this eye over here and I want to slice it out of this bigger circle. It would get rid of it. So then the eye would be missing from the yellow piece. So slicing is used when you want to remove pieces of a design. You would be slicing it. So the thing about slicing is that slicing can only be used with 2 layers. So if you look at over here, we have got 5 layers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 separate layers here. So if we were to select all of this and try to slice, it's grayed out. It's not able to be used because you can only slice 2 layers. So there needs to be a way for us to combine these little pieces into one layer, and that's where welding comes in. If you were to just attach all of them, it's not going to work because attaching keeps them together when you go to the cut screen, but it does not combine them into one layer. So if I attach them, you can see that they're now attached with the paper clip, but they are still individual layers, and that's not what we want. We still are not going to be able to slice because there's more than 2 layers. So what we need to do is weld all those pieces instead. So what I usually do, it's usually easier, especially if you have a bunch of little pieces, is hide your background. And then you're going to select all of your pieces. You're going to go down to combine and you're going to weld. So now up here you can see that all of these pieces are in one layer. They're no longer 4 separate layers, they're one layer. So then when you unhide your circle or your background, you can select both and now you can slice. So now this is what we want. We wanted those pieces cut out of the circle behind it. We turned all the smaller pieces into one layer with weld, and then we sliced it out of our smiley face. So I'll show you just one more example here. So I have another example down here, a bunch of stars and a moon. So instead of having to slice individually, so if you hadn't welded, you would have to select your background image. You would have to select one piece, and then I don't think I got it. Oh, it's grouped. My bad. Sorry. So you would have to select the back and then select one piece, and then you would slice. And so now that piece is gone. Send that back to the back, but you still have all these stars. So then you would have to go and do the background piece in one star and the background piece in this star, and that's a lot of work. So to avoid that, that's what you would have to do if you did not weld all these pieces. You would have to do it individually because you can only select 2 layers. So the background in one piece, the background in another piece, and do it all separately, and that's way too much work. So we're going to hide the background, we're going to select all of the little pieces, go to the combine menu, and we're going to weld. And then we're going to unhide the background, so now you can see the stars and the moon are up here on one layer. We're going to select this layer, and we're going to select this layer. So on my Mac, to select 2 things at one time, you would select one and then hold down Command. I'm not sure how you would do it on a Windows computer. I don't use Windows computers. But I'm sure somebody would know. So you would select the 2 layers and you would slice, and then that gives you what you needed. well, there we go. That was the bottom piece. But anyway, so this is what we wanted. And since we turned this into one layer up here with all these pieces, we were able to slice it out of the background piece at one time. So you didn't have to do it individually like you would have had you not welded. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight in welding with slice, and that welding doesn't always have to be for overlapping layers, and it can really be helpful in circumstances like this. So thanks for joining me. If you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks.